From the womb to 8 years of age is considered one of the most influential times in a person's life, particularly the first 1,000 days of life. This period sets the foundation for a person's future in many aspects, including health, learning, and even future earning ability. It is therefore imperative that children in these age ranges are given special, holistic attention. In Zimbabwe, it is estimated that 60% of children under 5 years are at risk of not developing their fullest potential, and there is worryingly low uptake of early childhood education. Reasons include malnutrition, substandard living conditions, lack of access to healthcare, and educational opportunities. Since 2004, efforts were made to incorporate school readiness, but it has faced challenges such as poor stakeholder engagement and finances. This has been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has resulted in the death of primary providers and reduced household incomes for many families. In terms of education, children in the early childhood learning phase have suffered disproportionately because of their unique needs.
The ministry really tried to come up with alternative learning initiatives such as radio programs, such as online learning. But if you look at it, you find that there were no lessons for ECD. The ECD were just there. And ECD, include the curriculum of ECD include playing, and the learners have not been playing.
It is against these challenges that, with the generous support of the Roger Federer Foundation, the School Readiness Initiative was born. It is a project that takes a holistic view of the early development of children and aims to fully prepare them for school. The mandate of the initiative is to prepare children for primary education by focusing on their learning and development, creating a conducive learning environment, and readying their families, particularly parents and caregivers, for the transition to primary schooling.
School readiness should start when a child is born, or even before then. So when we are speaking of school readiness, we are speaking before grade 1.
ZINECDA was formed in 2012 as a membership body comprised of various actors including health, education, nutrition organizations, all rallying voices in order to have an audible advocate for children's issues. The outcomes ZINECDA looks for in the School Readiness Project include the prioritization of school readiness financing, improved policy frameworks, and the improved capacity of key decision makers to advocate for school readiness. The Education Coalition of Zimbabwe, ECOZI, is the other partner in the School Readiness Initiative, with a definite slant towards policy change.
54 NGOs that work in the education sector, not only local NGOs but international NGOs. The greater mandate of ECOZI is policy advocacy, and you find that the School Readiness Initiative, the aim of the project is to make sure that there's policy change. The project itself focuses on policy change and feeding into the mandate of ECOZI, which is making sure that there's a policy change, there's policy advocacy in Zimbabwe. The SRI project is focusing on a component of policy change within the education sector, which is ECD. So it tallies well exactly with what ECOZI is mandated to do, as well as the aims and objectives of the School Readiness Initiative project.
The economic situation in Zimbabwe has adversely affected all sectors of society, with many having trouble meeting their most basic needs. The education sector has not been spared. Funding has always been a challenge, and this has hamstrung government efforts to shore up early childhood development. ECD-level children make up about 1/6 of the total student population, but are allocated less than 1% of the total education budget. This means that schools must find means of supplementing the funds available to ECD programs. This is where ZINECDA, ECOZI, and their partner members have stepped up. Partners are a critical part of the success of the Schools Readiness Project. The implementing organizations interact directly with communities, supporting them through income-generating projects, expert advice and training, and monitoring the progress of the initiative.
We want also to build our own capacity as actors, that through learning, being trained by others, but also to build the capacity of others who want to make decisions as regards the children's rights issues. Our role as a secretariat, because it's a membership like what I've said, is not to compete with our member organizations, but to build their capacity so that they can implement at lower level.
One such member organization is Child Protection Society, CPS. They are supporting schools in 3 provinces in Zimbabwe. They are providing schools with capital to start income-generating projects that will help fund ECD supply purchases that would otherwise not be afforded by the school. At Sutton Mines School in Mashonaland Central Province, a grant was awarded for an egg project. There was no dedicated file run, but because of low enrollment, a classroom was made temporarily available. Deputy Headmistress Mupedziswa explains.
We started with 30 beds. So unfortunately, 1 year kafa, I think it was due to stress. Padzakatanga kukanda. So far tasana 29. But usually it's no kanda 100%, sometimes 26, but at September longa mazayar past 23. We are targeting for 9 November. Tingeta vatengero zvikwanisiro ku ECD like my pencils, bond paper for printing, my coloring books.
The project has gone on so well that the School Development Committee has decided to construct a dedicated file run to expand the project. They have seen a marked improvement since the project started.
Especially zvikwanisiro kuvana vechikoro zvaitinetsa tichiverengedza kuhomwe yechikoro zvinhu zvanga zvisingakwanisike, asi apa tiri kutoona kutoti nekubudikidza neprojekti taakutokwanisa kubatawo zvakawanda. Asi izvezvi so kubudikidza neprojekti taakutoziva kuti zvakukwanisa kuwanikwawo zvikwanisiro zvinobva muprojekti inobva kuprogramu iyo yeCPS.
Goat rearing is another project that has been undertaken in several communities to the benefit of ECD classes at various schools. As the goats reproduce, they are marketed and the proceeds go towards improving the learning environment of these young learners. In order to help the community, experts are brought in to advise them on best practices in order to maximize their returns. Other projects awarded grants include tuck shops and market gardening ventures. Teacher training has also been undertaken to benefit the students. This is training that otherwise would not have taken place. A most encouraging result of these initiatives is the increased community participation in the school affairs of its children. As parents see the effort being put into their children's future, they are willing to participate more readily. This has seen many projects take shape as well as enrollments increased. Schools Inspector Herbert Msingarimi has seen this firsthand.
There has been an improved community involvement because of the interest in the projects. They actually see that they've got a role to play in the improvement of the school. The morale at the school has improved. The number, in fact, the enrollment, school enrollment, especially for ECD learners, has improved. In fact, it has skyrocketed, so that some of our facilities are failing to accommodate the increasing enrollments.
CAMFED is another member organization that is doing its part in the School Readiness Initiative. CAMFED is taking part in different initiatives in 7 districts. These include funding for income-generating projects, school feeding programs to increase attendance, resource mobilization for ECD play materials, and raising awareness among communities to get children ready for ECD. Working with lawmakers is critical for the goals of the Schools Readiness Project. By giving them an in-depth appreciation of the issues at hand, partners championing the project were able to get buy-in from them, resulting in several mentions in Parliament, and this contributed largely to the success that has been achieved thus far. Member of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Education, Honorable Priscilla Misiairabwi has seen a marked difference since the initiative was implemented.
The before and after was a system where things were just happening, where there was no policy framework, there was no supervision, to now where you have the law, you have a policy framework, you have supervision. All we need to do is to just make sure that implementation is actually taking place and resources have been invested, enough resources have been invested in ECD.
The partnership between ECOZI and ZINECDA has borne fruit, including an ECD conference held in late 2020. This gathering brought together stakeholders to discuss various issues affecting early childhood education and to plot the way forward. A baseline survey was also commissioned in order to provide a baseline on issues to do with early childhood development.
So it was quite easy in terms of coordinating because, we had the same understanding, we had the same vision, so it was not difficult. It was just, it was just flowing.
The Schools Readiness Project has to date notched a number of notable successes. These are: early childhood development is a recognized part of the education system. It created a rallying point for civil society who understand the importance of school readiness. It received the buy-in of parliamentarians who appreciate the importance of such initiative. Visibility for ECD issues was increased, headlined by numerous radio interviews and television series produced. There has also been an increase in social media mentions, further increasing visibility. The greatest achievement to date, however, is arguably the Education Amendment Act, which will bring about sweeping changes to early childhood education if it is implemented as agreed.
We knew what we wanted and we took lead on that. And what we did is we built synergies and partnerships with the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Education. And we put some position papers and we organized and called them to say this is what we wanted, together with Education Coalition of Zimbabwe on the SDG 4. And we put across. And then after that, they agreed to the issues. Now they wanted it. It was a bill. So what we did is we hired a consultant to do an analysis of the bill and also of the issues that we wanted. And we agreed that the consultant should make a model bill, and which was done, which satisfied us, and we gave it to the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Education. And I can tell you more than 90% of the issues we adopted.
While these are all major achievements, the work continues. It is one thing to have an amendment passed, but it is quite another to ensure its implementation. Going forward, ZINECDA, ECOZI, and all partners will continue to advocate for the improvement of early childhood education in Zimbabwe. Other goals include finalizing the early learning policy, inclusive education policy, and school financing policy, which are all currently drafts. With all these thrusts, the aim is to ensure that the life of this initiative continues and its efforts are felt long after donor funds have finished.
The development of the policy itself, the early learning policy, is a great achievement for the SRI, initiative, because policies within the ministry took time for them to be developed. But with this, the only thing that then delayed us was the coming in of COVID, because we should have finalized the policy right now. But I'm quite happy because the response that we are getting from the ministry is quite positive, in that they intend to say, they put a date to say we intend to finalize the policy within the first quarter of 2021.
For now, it is safe to say the Schools Readiness Initiative is making a difference and is positively affecting the futures of children across Zimbabwe, now and for generations to come.